Alright, so I'm Sovereign Sage, and a long time ago I wanted to do a video showing off what the inscriptions possibly do for each character and their weapons. I never really got a chance to do it though, considering the fact that there's 108 inscriptions to go through, and it can take a really long time to go through and see what each of them do. There probably is some people wondering about the inscriptions I do have on my weapons, which are those little things underneath the weapons. You can have up to 6 inscriptions per weapon, per character. There's also a thing where each character gets to have his or her own personal inscription, which does something different. However, these are the inscriptions here. There's a total of 108. The ones that go on beyond this, these colored ones right in here, I do have these for some character, but they only light up for the character that you're playing as and which you have them for. So I actually do not have Hanbei's. I used to have it, which puts him in his what was it called again? Ikari wo Komote, I think. Or Komate wo Ikari, or whatever, something like that. He has a mode that basically makes him glow like a pinkish purple, which makes him glow with dark energy. It's actually one of his A2 abilities that causes him to get that. I believe it's this one here. So this one here basically would give him that, put him in that effect. A lot of the characters have R2 skills that will allow them to do something. Even like Yukimura's Daifunka, fired up mode. Every character has some kind of a mechanic that branches into what their personal inscription actually does. It is the same thing with Oichi as well. I believe this one here is what activates hers. If I go back to the weapons here, hers should light up because I thought I had it. Hers is this one here. Apparently I don't actually have it, so I might have to go find a character that I have it for. So I'm gonna just switch out his partner. I have Kasuga's, so I could show hers. I also have a few of the other characters as well. It'll only light up for the character you have it for. As you can see here, Kasuga's is lit up. So what Kasuga's does is it puts her in her ninja state, like the rainbow one. It puts her in that mode there. Like I said, I could go through and explain what each of theirs do individually, but I feel like that's gonna take me a long time to even. It's not like her Matsubomi, because that's her. I think it's Niji Kage, because Kage is shadow, Niji is rainbow. So it's basically like rainbow shadow. It's literally self-explanatory. Like I said, for me to try to translate it and explain it, it would take me a very long time. And I'm not really sure if I want to do that right now. But there you go. It lights up for the character you have it for. So I don't have, unfortunately, like I said, I don't have Hanbei's and I don't have Oichi's, but that's not really a big deal. I could explain their inscriptions for this video, but it's going to take me a long time to get through these, so maybe I'll make that a separate video talking about personal inscriptions. But for right now, this is just regular inscriptions. So inscription 1, where I'm highlighted on right now, basically it adds 100 to your HP. It is like, its translation is stamina, but however, it's just a normal one that you get. You can stack this. It is stackable. It grants you 100 HP, as where the second one grants you 150 for attack. So this one is called Striking Force, and it increases your character's attack by 150. The next one is called Protection, and it increases your defense by 150. So the first one is Health, Attack, Defense. You can tell by the little kanji symbols as well, because when you go to level up your character, if you look at the bottom down there, on the weapons here in the center, when you go to level up the weapons, this grid, this pentagon, if you look where, like, right here, for instance, if you see how the kanjis are similar. So this one is health, this is attack, this is defense. I believe this one is fighting spirit and this one's basara, or it could be the other way around. I always get these bottom two mixed up. I believe this one is fighting spirit, this one is basara. But that's what these perimeters level up on your character's weapon as well. So it's health, attack, defense, fighting spirit, basara. And unless I got those bottom left and right ones mixed up. But basically the kanji is the same. It's the same thing where it says, where it's flashing 999 underneath Hanbei's name. If you see where the red gauge is, where it says 12,500, so that's how much his life is. So I have his life to 12,500. I have his attack at 4,320, and his defense is at 3,100. As for Oichi, her life is barely at 8,980, which is drastically lower than what I have for Hanbei. Her attack is also drastically lower. It's only at 3,150 compared to the 4,320 that I have for Hanbei. Her defense is higher though. She has a defense of 4,010, as where Hanbei only has a 3,100 defense. So her defense is higher than his, but his life and attack are way greater than hers. So he can hit harder and his life is longer. So, like I said, this all depends on how you level the characters up. It's also because he's completely maxed out. She is not. So that's the only difference here. It also goes into play on the inscriptions I have on their weapons, which is why I'm explaining what those are. So, again, this one is protection, grants defense by 150. The next one here, I believe, is called Willpower. So basically, it makes attacks less likely to stagger you. You can also stack that as well. It is stackable. The next one is called Solid. Basically, it makes it harder for enemies to break your guard. So if you don't want your guard to be broken, which does happen in this game if you guard for too long while receiving consecutive attacks. If you have this inscription on your character's weapon, especially if you add this little ring here, this thing here makes it stronger, makes the inscription stronger. So that also comes into play, and that kind of deflects that as well. So let's see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the sixth one is called Counter Skilled. So it makes it easier to parry attacks. So if somebody's attacking you, you can like basically deflect it, parry it. So the next one, which is 7, I'm going to try to keep count of these. It's called Break Guard. So Break Guard makes it easier to break the enemy's guard. It's very self-explanatory. The next one is 8, which is Expert. Increases your critical hit chance, so you can get more of a chance to land critical hits on your enemies. And it is stackable. You can stack it as well. So the next one for 9 is Crushing Blow. So increases the damage dealt by critical hits. That's also another one that's actually pretty good too. So 10 is Stylish. So extends the duration of your maximum style effect. I think that ties into what is called the hero gauge or style gauge. It's the little blue flame-like symbol that wraps around your character's image. They keep changing that name from game to game. In some games they call it the hero gauge. Other games they call it the style gauge. Basically it slows down everything and it increases your attacks, and it's really fancy. They keep changing the name. I always call it hero gauge, but it is called style here. Unlike it is in Utage and 3, it was called hero gauge. And in some other Sengoku games, it was also called hero. But here, it's called style. I believe it's called style. So the next one, I believe, is 11, which is called Genuine. So basically, it increases your attack power during maximum style by 250. I'm not really sure what that means. If it means that if while your style gauge is activated, it increases your attacks. I have no idea. Basically, it just increases it increases your power your attack during the maximum stall, so possibly hard to say. So the next one for I believe 12 is called Source. So your attacks have a chance of producing an element effect. So every character in this game has an element that is specific to each of them. Hanbei's is darkness, Oichi's is darkness. Somebody like Tsuruhime, it's ice, like so is Kenshin's, and you know, etc. I think Kasuga's is light, and like Yukimura's is fire. I could go on about elements forever. We're not doing that. So basically, that's what that does. It just gives your character a chance of getting an element by putting this onto your character's weapon. You give them that element. It's not really noticeable with these characters here, but they do both have darkness. You can't really see it too much, but Hanbei's weapon kind of has like a slight purple bluish glow around it. I don't know if you can really see it too well, but that's what his element is. Hers is glowing with the bright purple. The bright purple spark-like nonsense is what that is. Some characters it's more noticeable, not for everyone though. For instance, that's why I was bringing up somebody like Yukimura. Even somebody like Katsue, his element is wind, so if you can see the wind glowing around his blades there, so that's what that inscription does. It allows their element to be seen, and it also allows that element to accompany each of their attacks, if you have it for them. Even his is fire, but you can't really see it too well because his weapons get cut off the damn screen. As you can see there, if I grab him and turn him, see the fire? So I actually have his element inscription equipped, and that's why you can see it, and that's why his weapon is glowing. Each character has their own element that can cause their weapon to glow differently based on what his or her element happens to be. Some more characters, it's more noticeable. As for other characters, not so much. As I said, Hanbei's, you can only see it from an angle. You can see the blue glow. Which is darkness. As for someone like Yukimura, it's fairly obvious what his element is. So on enough to that. So I believe that's what that is. So I believe the next one is dynamic. So dynamic, basically it increases the attack power of elemental attacks. Or actually, let me count here. I might. It's hard. That's why I don't want to keep backing out of these screens. So I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't know why there's just suddenly a ice cream truck outside. What the hell is up with that? Yeah, I think I do have it correct. So increases the attack power of your elemental effects. And the next one, which is 14, which is called Demon Blade. So for each of these inscriptions you have equipped, your attack power increases by 1. For each enemy you defeat, the maximum increase is plus 1,000. So by having this on your weapon, it increases your power, your attack power, but only by 1. I don't know why you would do that, honestly. I really don't. So the next one, for 15, is called Assured Power. Increases the attack power of your Basara and Giga Basara techniques. So if you have this on your character's weapon, it basically makes their Basara attack, which is like a Muso attack in this game, it makes it stronger. Also, Giga Basara is where you launch both of your characters' Basaras at the same time to get a unique attack that is only attuned when you activate that. You can't really have that attack be produced any other way. So basically that increases that as well. So I believe the next one is called Weighty. So it grants a 1+ count for Basara and Giga Basara techniques, which is kind of like the freaking same, like, oh my god. So the next one for 17, it's called Tasty, literally. It increases the potency of healing items. So if you have this on your character's weapon and you pick up like an onigiri or something, they'll get more healed that compared to if they didn't have it. So the next one is called Food Thief, which for 18. So you recover HP when you perform a desertion dodge. So in this game, if you hold your guard button, which is L1 for me, and you kind of like you dodge as you're getting attacked. You dodge at the same time as the attack gets ready to hit. So if you successfully pull it off, your character will be healed. It's kind of interesting, I guess. So the next one for 19, it's called Bloodsucking, literally. So you recover HP when you defeat an enemy. So every time you kill someone, it doesn't matter if the enemy is a main character or not. Enemies, all enemies in general, if you kill any one of them, your life will recover if you have this inscription. That's cool, I guess. It is stackable as well. So the next one, 20, it's called Rest. Your HP gradually recovers when guarding. So it's kind of neat. I like this one because if you are like hurt really bad and you're playing like on heaven difficulty with a character who's too low level like I do sometimes, you can just guard, just stand there and guard forever and your character's life will slowly regenerate. Kind of reminds me of that unique ability that Kojiro Karakura has. If you activate his taunt, he'll get down and sit on his knees and he'll focus his strength and it rebuilds his Basara gauge only by a little bit at a time. And he kind of glows with like a blue flame. Don't really know what's up with that. I really don't. He's the only one who has that. Weird. So the next one for 21, it's called Active. So your Basara gauge will feel partly when you recover from incapacitation. So if you have two characters, and say I have Oichi and Hanbei, and Oichi happens to fall and she dies, a green ring will fill around her, and if I stand in it, it'll turn orange, and it'll slowly cause her life to regenerate. I think it slowly regenerates over time, but if you stand in the circle, it regenerates faster. So if I do that and I have this on her weapon, when I cause her to get her gauge refilled by aiding her by standing in the circle until she comes back to life, by doing this, her Basara gauge will slowly refill slightly, not all the way completely. It's not an auto fill. It doesn't fill the bar completely. It only fills it by a little bit. So every time she dies, her Basara gauge will slowly start to build. So that's neat. So the next one for 22 is called Earthly Riser. So increases the speed at which you recover from incapacitation. That's neat as well. So if you have this on your character's weapon, they will heal way more faster and spring back to life like it's nothing. That's neat. So the next one for 2023 is called Naughty Brat. Literally, that's literally what it is. Increases the amount by which your Basara gauge refills when you perform a taunt. That's why it's called Naughty Brat, because when you're taunting, your Basara gauge is slowly refilling. So that's funny. That's great. That is stackable as well. All of these are stackable. I know I haven't been saying that, but yeah, it's kind of annoying to say that every time, but yeah, they're stackable. So the next one for 24 is called Pure Style. So increases the rate at which your style gauge refills. That's the little blue thing that wraps around your character's image at the bottom left. 25, no style. So your style gauge will refill when you receive damage from enemies. 26, Eccentric, your style gauge will automatically refill when you are in near death status. So when your character's life is red and it's flashing and you get like the heartbeat sound and you're dying, it'll slowly refill that for you. So phenomenal. I don't know why I said that. 27, Stonebreaker, grants a chance that wet stones will appear upon breaking an enemy's armor. Wetting stones are actually pretty good. They can help you level up your character's weapon, etc. So 28, Collection, you receive 3 more Ryo, which is money. 3 more Ryo for each enemy you defeat. Sweet. So the next one, 29, you receive a 20% more experience points when you defeat an enemy, so you can basically level up your character faster because they get 20% more experience points for defeating enemies. Doesn't matter if it's a main character, little enemy guys, defeating enemies in general will give you this. Okay, so the next one is called Training for 30. So you receive 200 more experience points in your Inryo for each successful parry. So for every parry you get, you receive 200 experience points in your Inryo for like your level up. Inryo is the thing that stacks points that you can use to level up your character. It's at the bottom of the screen right now. Mine says 3,757. That's your Inryo. You use that to level up your characters. Okay, so the next one here is 31. It's called Find. Increases the chance that an item will appear when you break an object. Okay, 32, Stamina Extreme. So basically this grants 200 points to your life. That's if you add that little blue ring. So basically, these ones look familiar, right? So you see this one here? This does the same thing. So if you have this and you take this blue ring and you put it onto that inscription, it'll become this. It even shows you right there on the right side of the screen. It shows you if you take that one, combine it with the circle, it'll become that. So it's even telling you how to do it on the right. I know it's all in Japanese, but on the right there, it's telling you how to do that. So Stamina Extreme grants you 200 plus HP. 32 is Striking Force Extreme, grants 300 attack power. It is stackable. The next one, Striking Force, grants 300 attack power. So it's kind of like the same. Yeah, 300. And the next one is Protection. I might have skipped one here. Yeah, I skipped one, I'm sorry. So this one here, so 200 to HP, 300 to attack, 300 to defense. This one here is Willpower Extreme. Makes your attacks less likely to stagger you. I went ahead of myself. I was moving without really looking. So yeah, this is health, attack, defense. Okay. So this one here, moving on to the next one, is called Solid Extreme. Makes it harder for enemies to break your guard. It's the same as the ones that up above that I mentioned before. It's just greater. It just makes it stronger. So the next one, 37, is Counter Skilled Extreme. Makes it easier to parry your attacks, or makes it easier to parry your attacks with the greater effect. I can't talk. I'm just so distracted. Oh my god. I knew I was going to have a hard time with this. So the next one, 38, Break Defense. Makes it easier to break the enemy's guard. You have a greater effect there. 39, increases the critical hit chance. 40, increases the damage dealt by critical hits. 41, Stylish, extends the duration of your maximum style gauge. It's the same as before. So basically it's the same names, it's just called Extreme. So let's see here. We're at 42, right? And you go over. So the next one increases your attack during maximum stall by 500. 43, Source Extreme, increases the chance of your attacks having an elemental effect. It's greater. So the next one, 44, is Enhanced Dynamic Extreme, increases the attack power of your elemental effects. 45, Demon Blade Extreme. For each of these inscriptions that you have equipped, your attack power increases by 2 instead of 1, unlike before. For each enemy you defeat. Again, though, it only goes to plus 1,000. You can't make it go any higher than that. Alright, and the next one I believe is 46, which is Assured Power. Increases the attack power of your Basara and Giga Basara techniques, only the effect is stronger. So the next one is the 47th inscription. It's called Weighty. So it grants 2 plus hit count for Basara and Giga Basara techniques. The next one again is the same as it was before. The tasty one, only it's extreme. Basically increases the potency of healing items. So like now it's stronger than what it was before. The next one is Food Thief. You recover HP when you perform a desertion dodge. It's stronger. Again, Bloodsucking. You recover HP when you defeat an enemy. And your blood, the amount of life you get back is stronger. Like you get more back than you would with just a normal inscription. Like these are literally all the same inscriptions. All that changed was you adding that little blue circle, and it makes them stronger. Still same effect. It just becomes stronger than what it was originally. So the next one again is called Rest, same as it was before. Your HP gradually recovers when guarding. Only you get more HP this time. The next one is called Active. Again, does the same thing as it does before. Your Basara gauge will feel partly after recovering from incapacitation, only the effect is greater. Early Riser, same as before, increases the speed at which you recover from incapacitation, only the effect is greater. The next one, Naughty Brat, increases the amount by which your Basara gauge refills when you are taunting. Again, all it does is make it stronger. Pure Style, same as before. increases the rate at which your style gauge fills. No style, same as before again. Your style gauge will refill when you receive damage from enemies, so it's just stronger. So 57 Eccentric, your style gauge will automatically refill when you are in near death status, causes it to refill faster. So 58 Stonebreaker grants a chance that wedding stones will appear upon breaking enemy's armor. The effect is just greater. Collection, you receive 6 money instead of 3. You get 6 pieces of gold for every enemy you defeat. Experience, you receive 40% more experience points when you defeat an enemy, so it's stronger. Before it was 20%, now it's 40. So the training, 61, you receive 400 experience points in your row for each successful parry. So instead of only receiving 200 points, now you get 4. So again, Inscriptions 62, it's still called Find Extreme, increases the chance that an item will appear when you break an object. So it's the same as before, it's just greater. So this one here, this symbol here is called Extreme. Basically, it just enhances inscriptions. That's what I was talking about, and that's what that does. By putting this little blue circle onto these normal ones here, it makes them stronger. That's why I kept saying Find Extreme, Training Extreme, because that was that plus that symbol causes those original default inscriptions. If you add that little circle to them, it makes them stronger than what they were. So instead of having life plus 150, it's like 200. Yeah, 300 actually. It goes from being only 100. It goes from 100 to 300 by adding that circle. It increases it drastically in a way if you look at it like that. 64 is called Fusion. So Tremendous Strength grants 150 to attack power and makes it easier to break enemies' guard. Next one, 65, Sturdy, grants 100 plus HP and 150 defense. The next one is called Fusion Critical, increases your critical hit chance and the damage dealt by critical hits. Again, it is also stackable. All of these are stackable, but some of them aren't, but you'll know because I'll tell you that it isn't. So 67 Fusion Iron Body grants 150 attack defense, makes you attack less likely to stagger you. I said that terribly. Basically, it grants 150 to your defense and makes it less likely for attacks to stagger you. I don't know why I said it backwards like I was dyslexic. What the hell? This one here is called 6 Realms Fusion 68. It's the 68th inscription. It's not called that. So Fusion, 6 Realms. Your attacks have a chance of producing an elemental effect, and the attack power of your elemental effect is increased. So I believe if you have someone like Yukimura and you have fire, I believe you can add fire damage to your enemies and cause them to burn. Burn, son! No, that's not at all what it is. But yeah, that's kind of it. So basically, this one here is Fusion Stylish Elegance. So, Stylish Elegance is the 69th inscription. Extends the duration of your maximum style effect and increases your attack power during maximum style plus 250. Inscription 70. I don't know why I went down. I'm an idiot. Bewitched Blade. For each of these inscriptions, because you can stack this one, so for each of these ones, if you have multiple of these, your attack power increases only by 1 for each enemy you defeat. The maximum increase is plus 1,000. In addition, your health recovery goes up every time you defeat an enemy. So with this inscription, so basically what this means, if I have this inscription on my weapon, for each enemy I defeat, your attack goes up by 1. So that's kind of ridiculous because there's a lot of enemies you can kill quickly, right? So for every enemy you kill, say if I killed 5 enemies, my attack power or my attack strength would go up plus 5. So it goes up plus for every enemy you defeat, but it stops once it reaches 1,000. So once you get to 1,000, it cuts you off and your attack power does not increase anymore. But it is still kind of freaking ridiculous that you can increase your attack power plus 1 for every enemy you defeat, and it lets it go to 1,000. That is insane. But that's called Bewitched Blade. So Inscription 71 is called Death Blow. Increases the attack power of your Basara and Giga Basara techniques, I was going to say powers, and grants them 1 plus hit count. So the next one, I believe, is called Swordplay. So it makes it easier to trigger and win sword clashes with enemy commanders like main characters, and victories deal more damage to the enemy. So it's basically like it is in Dynasty Warriors, like what people would call clashes, where two characters you attack at the same time and you have to sit there and mash a button to push a gauge to win. That's what that is. So basically it makes it easier to win them, because they're called, in this game it's called Swordplay, even though other people still call it clashes. I still call it clash, because that's what I see it as, but it's actually called Swordplay. Whatever. So 73, intensive training. So you receive 20% more experience points, and 10% of the experience points are put into your in-rail for enhancement when you defeat an enemy. So in-rail is what allows you to level up your characters. That's all that means. Alright, so the next one, it's called Phantom Thief. So the price of defeating 100 enemies becomes either a small Ibitsubaro, basically an HP or a Basara thing, or a treasure box. Stacking the item improves your items in the treasure box that you receive. So basically an Ibitsubaro is a little like it's kind of like a gourd kind of thing. Because in this game, if you pick up an onigiri, that's what heals you. But if you pick up a gourd, it refills your basra. I believe in this game, the Ibitsubaro is a little thing that could be either one. So basically it just increases your, if you defeat 100 enemies, you can either get health or basra. Basically. If that makes sense. So the next one here is called Career. So picking up rice balls or holy water also grants 250 experience points, while Ibitsubaros grant plus 500 experience points. The next one for 76 is called Heavenly Blessing. So wedding stones and dangerous items appear when you reach fever. Stacking the inscription makes more items appear though. So basically when you're attacking, you get like a little style thing that tells you if you're doing good or not, kind of like it does in Mortal Kombat, how it would say Toasty. That's what that is. So if you see fever on the screen, and you have this, it can either cause you to it can get you more wedding stones, but more dangerous items appear. Alright, so 77, it's called Thug. So enemy attacks no longer stagger you when you are taunting, and the amount at which your Basara gauge refills when you perform a taunt is increased. In addition, your style gauge will refill slightly. So that's cool. This one is called Life. So your HP gradually recovers over time. So you would like to put this on one of your character's weapons, because it causes their life to slowly refill. Even if the life is full and you're maxed and you haven't taken any damage yet, it'll still be continuously healing your character. It's kind of like the Vitality Belt that I put on Balsani in Warriors Rigid 3 Ultimate that causes her life to slowly regenerate over time, all the time, constantly. That's basically the same. So the next one is called Miracle. Grants the chance that damage received from enemies will be nullified and that you will recover from incapacitation on your own without having to have your other character stand in the circle. Like, if I put that on somebody's weapon like Oichi and she dies while I'm playing as Hanbei, it can cause her to respawn by herself, like come back on her own without me having to go stand in the circle and make her come back. She'll come back on her own. It's kind of neat if your other character's too far away from you and you can't go back to heal them. Say if you're guarding and you're constantly being attacked and you can't get to them, they can come back on their own. I think I have that for Mitsunari. There's an inscription on Mitsunari's weapon that I have that can cause him to rise from incapacitation once on his own. Like it has like a 1 in 50 chance that he can respawn on his own, and I think he's the only character I've ever given that to. So, what the hell? Okay. So the next one is called Frenzy. Grants 250 attack power when near death, and your style gauge will refill slightly each time you go into near death status. The next one is called Tremendous Strength Extreme, so it grants 300 plus attack power and makes it easier to break the enemy's guard. The next one over here is called Sturdy Extreme, grants 200 plus HP and 300 plus defense. The next one is called Critical Extreme, increases your critical hit chance and the damage dealt by critical hits. It's like stronger than what it was before. So the next one is called Iron Body, so grants 300 defense and makes attacks less likely to stagger you. The next one is called 6 Realms, just as it was before. It's called 6 Realms Extreme this time, and your attacks have a chance of producing an elemental effect, and the power of your elemental effect is increased. The next one is Stylish Elegance, same as it was, as I said, as it was before. So it extends the duration of your maximum style effect and increases your attack power during maximum style by 500. Next one is Bewitched Blade. So for each of the inscriptions you have equipped, of this one, if I have this one like 3 times on the weapon, basically my attack power increases by 2 for each enemy I defeat. Again, though, the maximum amount is only 1,000. However, you do recover more HP when you defeat enemies. Next one is Death Blow. Increases the attack power of your Basara and Giga Basara abilities or techniques, and gives you a 2+ hit count. The next one is Intensive Training Extreme. So you receive 40% more experience points, and 10 experience points are put into your Inrio for enhancement. It was the same as it was before. Phantom Thief again for 90. This is the 90th inscription. It's called Phantom Thief Extreme. The prize for defeating 100 enemies becomes again either a large Ibitsubero, which is HP or Basara, or a deluxe treasure box. Again, stacking these inscriptions will cause the item you get to be greater than what it was before. The next one is called Career. So picking up rice balls or holy water, like the little gourds, also grants you 500 experience points, while Ibitsuberos grant you 1,000+ experience points. That's interesting. Next one is Heavenly Blessing. So Tabahagane Steel, Whetstones, and dangerous items will appear when you reach fever. So as you're defeating enemies and you're in a fever state, you can get more steel and wetting stones and a bunch of other crap. That's all I can explain it, really. The next one is Thug Extreme. So again, enemy attacks no longer stagger you when you are taunting, and the amount by which your Basara gauge refills when you perform a taunt is increased. In addition, though, your style gauge will refill slightly, and that is stackable. Next one is called Life. Again, it does the same as I said it did before. Your health will gradually recover over time. However, because this is the extreme version of that inscription, this is the highest power it can go to, your life will recover more than what it normally would. So that's kind of cool. I have this one because it's lit up. So you can see it there. I have it on someone's weapon. I'm not sure who, though. So the next one's called Miracle. Grants you a chance that damage received from your enemies will be nullified and that you will recover from incapacitation. So the next one is Frenzy Extreme. Grants 500+ attack power when near death, and your style gauge will slightly refill each time you go into a near death status. So that one's actually really cool. It's kind of overpowered in a way. Like, when you're in near death and your character's life is flashing red, your attack goes up by 500 when you're in a death state. And every time you go into a death state, the style gauge will slightly refill. So that's like over the top. Next one is literally over and over. So what that does, it grants 1 hit count and extends the time before resetting your combo. If you're into that. Next one is called Encampment. Increases damage dealt to camp commanders and grants you a 1+1 hit count upon destroying the enemy base. So this one's called Superly Quick. Increases movement speed. So for people that are always complaining that, oh, Oichi's a slow character, I hate how slow she is, get this inscription and slap that shit on her. Just slap it right on her, and it'll make her movement speed faster. It says by 1.5. That's how much it increases her speed, but if you give that to her, it should make her quicker. So the next one is called Acrobatics. So reduces damage taken and you automatically recover when you knocked away by an attack. So like if your guard gets broken and your character kind of staggers, you automatically recover, and you don't do that anymore. The next one is called Treasured Sword. So you receive an additional 10,000 Rio when weapon disassembly is performed. So if you take a weapon and you dismantle it, I might have been a little wrong here. I might have skipped one. I'm looking at the kanji. I think I might have made a mistake. This one isn't. This one's encampment. This one is plus speed. This one here is acrobatics. This one here is treasured sword. Sorry. So you receive an additional 10,000 Rio when you're basically destroying a weapon or when you sell it. The next one is endurance. So when you take damage, you will receive a proportional amount of experience points. This one here is called certain death. Your Basara gauge will feel more than usual when attacking enemies. This one here is as one body. Healing items you pick up will also restore a set amount of battle comrades' hit points. So like, if I have two characters and I pick this up as Hanbei, it'll like give Oichi more life. Like it'll restore her life a little bit. Or I think it might fully hit her. All it says is it restores a set amount of your battle comrades' hit points. Hit points mean life, her life points, HP, hit points. So basically if you pick that up as one body, so as you heal yourself, it also heals them too. This one here is a card played. Increases the damage dealt to enemies by 1.5. This one here is called Rust, so basically it reduces damage dealt to enemies. This one is bad. If you get this inscription on your character's weapon, it permanently lowers the attack on that weapon, and I believe even if you take this inscription off and get rid of it and replace it, I think that weapon's attack is permanently lowered. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I feel like it might have been. I remember somebody telling me something like that, but when I translated it myself, all it says is it just reduces damage to enemies. It's just called Rust. That's literally all it says it does. So I don't know if you get it on a weapon and you overwrite it, if it gets rid of the effect. I don't know. Honestly, I've only ever gotten Rust one time on a weapon, and I believe it was on my PS3 version. I did overwrite it, and I couldn't really tell if there really was a difference to the character's attack. I never really delved super deep to really try to find out, and at that time I didn't really care. So that's probably my fault, but still, I'm not sure if it does or not. If it stays permanently lowered. I want to say maybe no, but I have no idea. But basically, just beware of this one, because it will lower your character's weapon's attack. So if you have a weapon that does like 500 attack, this will probably drop it to like 300 or 200. I'm not sure how much it takes it down, but it does take it down quite a bit. So this one here is called Change. So it changes a weapon's inscription randomly during weapon fusion, though weapon may rust afterwards. So I haven't used this one before. Like I said, you gotta be careful, because if you use this to change another one of these inscriptions, and if you use that, you can have a chance, say if you put this blue diamond on this inscription here, there's a chance that it can turn it into this. It could turn it into Rust. So playing around with this blue diamond, it's called Change, you want to be careful with that, because it can change an inscription into another inscription and make it better than what it was before. However, it can accidentally turn an inscription into Rust. So you got to be careful when using that. It does happen randomly though. You never know when it's going to happen, so you want to be careful with that. That speed one, though, I want to make sure I have that correct, because I was not paying attention. The superly quick one, I want to make sure I translate that one correctly, because this one here, I believe this one, I think I'm pretty sure that's encampment. So I think the superly quick one is this one here? I think it's this one. I'm pretty sure, because I screwed one up at some point. The Sky Dance one, I believe this one. This one, I believe, is Sky Dance. It's supposed to grant you a 1 hit count when attacking in midair. And then this one was the over and over one. No, this one's over and over. This one is Sky Dance. This one is encampment. Yeah, I had it correct. So then this one is superly quick. I can tell by the kanji, this Z looking one where it says +1, that one is Sky Dance. The one or over and over. Because these ones, see how they both have +1, +2? This +2 one is Sky Dance. This one on the corner is encampment. I don't know why it's written out like that. This one is superly quick. I could tell by the kanji because this one has like a little X at the bottom of it. That one is acrobatics. So this one right here, this inscription right here, will make characters faster. I could try to create it, but if you can see on the right there, it's not known how to make it. If I go to triangle, see, I have it, but you have to take the blue diamond and combine it with another one, and I don't know what I would have to combine it with to get that. So I haven't actually figured out that equation, so I don't really know how to get it. But that's why I don't have it lit up, because I've never gotten it before. But basically that inscription increases your character speed. I do have the over and over one though, randomly. Like I said, that little blue diamond, it randomly gives you one of these green ones. I noticed you can get one of these green ones randomly using the diamond. And that's why I have them unlocked, but you see how it says question marks? It doesn't know what I have to combine the diamond with to get that. It just gave it to me randomly. That's why the question mark is there, because it's just a random one. It doesn't tell you exactly how to get it, because it's random. That's why it's set up with the triangle like that, with the little question mark. It's like, we don't know. It's random. The diamond did it. Basically, that's all the inscriptions translated. I know they didn't make a whole lot of sense because I stuttered over myself quite a bit like a damn idiot. Also, this one here, it's not listed. I don't really know what the translation for it is called, but it's a limit break. So I guess that's what I've always been calling it. I think that's what other people call it too. Basically, this is a limit break because somebody asked me in a video that I did a long time ago. They were asking me, how come this is blue? You can see here for Hanbei. You see my pentagon? You see how it's blue? Yet if I go to his weapon here, see how it becomes orange? It goes blue, orange, blue, orange, blue, orange. That's how I did that. I don't know how long I've been doing this video for. I don't know if I have enough time to actually really show it right now. But basically, you go to the Giga Basara shop. This is a limit break. So if I buy this, buy the limit break, go to the weapon menu for the weapon that you want. You're going to grab the inscription for a limit break. You're going to take the limit break, put it onto any one of these that you want. I'm going to put it here. And it'll go bing! And then it becomes blue. That's basically how you do that. And that is a limit break. You can level this up like this, and it opens up the perimeters. So it makes the weapon stronger than what it normally is. It increases the perimeters, it makes it way stronger, and it causes it to go blue. And that's how you do that. All that is a limit break. And that's what the limit break does. It breaks the weapon to allow the weapon to become way stronger than what it normally is. It increases attack and defense and all of that good stuff. So basically that's what a limit break does. It takes a weapon, because normally the default for each one of these points, it only lets it go to 1,500. However, if you have a limit break on a character's weapon, it allows it to go to 3,000. That's the highest it goes to, and that's with a limit break. Normally, again, the default, like I said, is 1,500. But if you put a limit break on it, it allows it to be way stronger than that. And that's basically what a limit break is. That's what a limit break does. I was trying to find another character who had a weapon max to 150. I don't really have a lot of characters whose weapons are maxed to 150. I only ever focus on one weapon for a character and don't really focus on any other ones. Hanbei was probably the only other character I had a weapon that was that orange. But now I turned it blue, so now he doesn't have an orange one anymore. But basically that's how you do that. It's not really hard at all. Honestly, it isn't. Hopefully you understood this as a guide. I know I was kind of all over the place with this, and I kind of screwed up. Here's another orange one. I kind of screwed up the translations here and there. But basically, that's the translation for each one of these inscriptions. That's what each one of them do. If you want, you can go back and listen to what I said for each one and maybe write it down for yourself and number them. There's 108. There's 108 inscriptions. These ones down here with the fancy colors are personal inscriptions. I'm going to do a separate video for this. Because, oh my god. See, I have Tsuruhime's. That's why hers is lit up. That's going to take me forever. I'm probably going to screw that up as well. But I guess I should do it. Because somebody might want to be asking about those. Because personal inscriptions are always cool. But basically, that's how it becomes blue. So if you get your character's weapon and it's at orange, basically what that means is it's ready for a limit break. Again, limit breaks are expensive though. So if you hit L1 on that menu there, it'll pull it up. It's 2,000 to limit break a character's weapon. Again, that's really how you do that. You just buy it and then you take it over and you choose the weapon that you want for the limit break, and basically just slap it onto the weapon and it limit breaks whatever it is for you, whatever it is you want. See, I have some of these green ones on here. See, this one's over and over. I want to get that speed one, but I don't have it. I haven't figured out how to do it or combine it apparently. Fencing. I like the little images. If you see behind the weapon, see how it's butterflies? It's like these like gray like leaves, and then butterflies, and then like some kind of weird circle designs, like depending, and then here's like bamboo leaves. Like the background image behind the weapon changes based on the rank of the weapon. So like the highest rank puts butterflies behind it. So if you get like little purple butterflies, purple silver butterflies behind the weapon's image, it means it's at the highest power. That's another way to indicate. That's how you do that, basically. Just limit break the weapon. That's how you do that. It's real simple. It's not hard at all. Like I said, it does get a little tiring and confusing. Trying to remember all of these, besides, like, oh my god, there's 108 inscriptions. Trying to remember what each of them do by memory is ridiculous. I don't honestly think anybody could really do it. I only remember a few, so I guess I'm kind of halfway there. I remember the health ones anyway, because they're really simple. Like these, like health, attack, defense, you know, health, attack, defense. I taught myself how to memorize those down here as well. So health, attack, defense, it goes up, and then it goes down. That little symbol on the right down there, I believe it's wasn't that the symbol for heart, which is Kokoro? What the hell? Anyway, that's how you do that. This one here is element, increases your character's element. They're all real fun to mess with. Again, that's how you do that. Over here on the left, though, it tells you what ones to combine to get this. It shows you how to do it. So, I mean, like I said, that's why I was saying it's self-explanatory, because it shows you which ones you need. So, you need a health plus defense to get this. It's fairly simple. I mean, it does tell you on the right how to do it. That's really all I can say. I'll try to do another video going through and saying each character's personal inscription, because they all do something different and it takes forever. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put any of these down. A war dance, that's Masamune. Basically, that makes him start with all 6 swords drawn. Anyway, I don't know how I'm going to fill out the description for this video, because it's going to be incredibly abysmal. I don't know if there's a way I could translate all 108 into description. I want to try it, but man, I'm going to be here all day. Because I would have to type it out for each one, and in the description it only lets you put 5,000 characters, and I think I would run out of room. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do that. I probably won't be able to. We'll have to see what happens. That's gonna be tough. I just realized. Crap. If not, like I said, if it's not in the description, you can always just go back to the video and listen for what I said for each one, because I did screw them up towards the end by accident. I misread the kanji. Yeah, this one is encampment. This one here is speed. This one makes your character faster. So this one, this symbol right here, if you put it on Oichi, I guarantee it'll cause her to move faster. But again, that is all of the inscriptions translation. Like I said, I did kind of screw it up, so kind of got stuttered over myself like an idiot. But that's how you do that. Hopefully I taught you something. Especially when it came to limit breaking, because people were asking me a lot about that. How come yours is blue? What does that mean? And I'm like, But basically that's why mine's is blue. It's because the weapon is limit broken. Once it becomes limit broken, it goes from orange to blue. So if your weapon is not limit broken, it'll be orange like this. Okay, if your weapon is orange like this, it's not limit broken. If it is blue like this, it is limit broken, and it cannot go any higher than that. That's the only difference. If it's orange, not limit broken. If it's blue, it is limit broken. It's really all I can say. Again, if you do have any other questions about something, I'm pretty sure I have already done a video talking about it, but depending on what it is, I could probably go ahead and help you with it anyway, as long as it's not too complex or complicated. Because I have pretty much tried to cover everything with this game in terms of menus and how pretty much everything else works. I'm probably one of the only people that take the damn time to do this shit. Because it's fun, I don't mind. Yeah, I do like the game a lot, and I would like to help somebody else enjoy it as much as I do. So if you want help with something, I'm pretty sure I could try to explain it in a way that you would understand. Then again, that's kind of like a what if. That's like a 1 to 50 chance that you would understand me. Sometimes the way I explain things, I can still make it seem confusable. But hopefully I explained some things. I'm not really sure though. I don't know. So again, I'll try to do personal inscriptions next. I'll have a separate video for that if you want to see how that works. Again, I used to have Hanbei's. I don't know what happened. I used to have it. I think it's because I'm thinking of my PS3 version. On my PS3 version, I had the inscriptions for all characters. I didn't have it on the main weapon I used, but I had it on at least one. And here I do not, because I'm still having to redo all of that again. I'm still thinking of my PS3 version where I had everything, everyone maxed. It's kind of sad that I have to do it all over again. It really does suck. But anyway, so my PS3 version, I had all weapons limit broken for all characters that I like, and all characters were at 999, and all characters had all weapons and all inscriptions unlocked. Like, I had everything broken to hell on that game, on my PS3 version anyway. And now here I'm like, great, I have to start all over. Yeah, that really blows. But again, I guess thanks for watching. If you did, I'm Sovereign Sage. If you want to see a video on what each character's personal inscription does, I'll have a separate video for that, because those are interesting. They're kind of cool. But anyway, again, the way he's just like whipping his sword. He's not really whipping it, he's just kind of like, are you done? He looks like he's gonna beat me with that. I'm gonna stop before I say something I regret, because I know exactly what my mind is thinking. I like Hanbei a lot, so I'm like, yeah, whip me, so. But no, I really do like Hanbei a lot. He's one of my all-time favorites. Even in Samurai Warriors, Hanbei is freaking great. I wish there were more games about him. But anyway, I think I said all I needed to. It's really hot in here. Oh dear. Alright, again, hopefully that helped you out. I'll try to put stuff in the description, but it's going to be kind of hard to do that. But I'm sure I'll figure something out.